FaceTube, uBook, wherever else the world people are watching. Ooh, gotta get rid of that window there. Hey, today, this is Howard Jacobson, co-author of Sick to Fit, chief of behavioral science, Well Start Health, host of Plant Yourself podcast. Today, I want to talk about the future and the present and a problem that is at the very center of behavior change, and especially behavior change that involves changing our food habits, our movement habits in pursuit of better health, in pursuit of a body that feels better to us, that looks better to us, that we're more proud of, that we feel like we're taking care of properly. And the problem in behavioral economics is known as future discounting, also called present bias. And the idea is that the things that are right in front of us feel much more important and real and motivating than the things that are way off in the future. And here's a chart from the book The Power of 50 Bits by Bob Neese. And so what we can see here is, so he's talking about your New Year's resolution and basically saying that when we decide what we're going to do, so he said the New Year's resolution is I'm going to go work out at the gym. And the benefit is I'm going to be fit. He calls this the mathematics of procrastination. So the benefits, he says, anything in the future, we have to discount by 50%. Okay. So let's say I'm going to arbitrarily give the future, the future benefits of working out is going to be a 10 on some scale, like 10 positive points, 10 my life is better points. So since it's the future, we have to cut it by 50%. And this is not just Bob. This is lots of social science research into things like, hey, I'll give you money now. I'll give you $10 now, or I'll give you some other amount in a week. How much do you need in a week to not take the $10 now? So this is kind of a real thing, future discounting. We discount the future. So anyway, those 10 units of benefit later by 50% is 5. Now, let's say it's going to take me 6 units of work, of effort to get there. 6, so going to the gym, getting on my gym clothes, getting up early, driving there, getting sweaty, working on machines that I'm not familiar with, the muscle ache, the feeling like people are looking at me and judging me. I'm going to say that's a cost of 6. I'm going to pay 6. So the New Year's resolution is 10 benefits, 6 costs. That's plus 4. I'm all in. All right. Our brains, hello, Elizabeth. Our brains are always doing things to figure out what's the benefit here. What's in it for me? So the brain goes, ooh, 4 plus, let's do it. But then Bob says on workout day, we still have up here the 10 units of benefit later. Where is it? Where's my hand? Oh, this is so hard. There we go. So we're still at 5, but now those 6 units of effort are not discounted. So that's 6 units of effort. I got to do it now. I got to get up now in the dark, in the cold. It's New Year's Day, right? I got to put on my gym clothes. I got to go to the gym. And that's a 6. But the benefit still in the future is only a 5. So he says that's a -1, and we're not going to do it. Our brain goes -1. Why on earth would I do that? So in social science, there's all sorts of techniques that scientists come up with to try to help us deal with this. One of them is called bundling. So it goes like this. Suppose I want to work out on my stationary bike in the basement, and I don't really like doing it. Invest in a green screen. Why? For the book, or just because you don't like my background? Can move it. Could, no, I'm not going to move it. Working out in your basement on your stationary bike, and you say, well, that's the time when I'm going to catch up on Game of Thrones, or I'm going to rewatch The Sopranos. And so we try to say, well, this painful thing now, which is going to lead to benefit later, I'm going to pile on some benefits now so that it's not so bad. Yeah, I hate riding the bike, but at least I'm catching up with Tony and Bronn and Tyrion. I just saw that the actor who plays Bronn is like a vegan activist. It's very cool. Anyway, plus Tyrion, I believe, Peter Dinklage, I think also vegan. So game of broccoli. And so there's something to this. We definitely want to sweeten the things that we're doing. One problem is that very often the things that we do to sweeten it are actually counterproductive. Like, okay, after my workout, I'm going to have this delicious meal that actually pushes me in the wrong direction. So there's always the temptation to not just bundle, but to reward and therefore counteract what we're up to. Another problem is that by rewarding, this is like telling the kid, you can have your ice cream after you eat your peas. So what are we really reinforcing there? We're reinforcing, yes, ice cream is delicious, but more we're reinforcing peas are yucky, that you wouldn't do this on your own. And there's been a ton of research on this by people like, and reported on by people like Alfie Kohn, who's an educational researcher who's written a book called Punished by Rewards, where if you think, and there's the classic story is a professor of behavioral science, a psychologist, moved into a new house, and there was all this partying going on in the house next door, and it was keeping him up at night. People were just hanging out, drinking, making noise, skateboarding. I'm forgetting the details, but just giving you the general idea. And being a savvy behaviorist, he didn't go and yell at them and tell them to stop. Instead, he went out and he gave everybody a couple of dollars to keep doing it. And hey, are you going to finish at midnight? No, keep doing it till 1 or 2. He paid them. And after a few days, he stopped paying them. And they're like, oh, I don't want to do this, so I'm not getting paid anymore. And they went home and left him alone. So anything that we reward, our mind immediately goes, and usually correctly, if there's a reward, this must suck. This must be a cost that I'm going to get some benefit for. And of course, that reinforces what we're already doing. This exercise sucks, but I'm doing it because I want my hot body in a month or 3 months or a year. So we're already playing that game. And so by bundling these immediate rewards, we're kind of just reinforcing that this stuff sucks. So we can do stuff that sucks, right? If you've ever had a job, you probably have had that experience. Like most of us have had jobs in which, well, I'm doing this thing that sucks for the paycheck, for the advancement, for the prestige, whatever it is. The problem with that is, and this is a really familiar scenario, what happens when we reach that place? What happens when we achieve our ideal weight? What happens when we get off our metformin? What happens the day that we accomplish our goal? We've got a history of doing hard, sucky things to get there, and now we've gotten there. We get to stop. We get to stop doing hard, sucky things. And then what happens? Then, of course, we go back to the way we were before, and we've got to do it all over again. Except this time, we've got another failure under our belt. And so we're even less motivated, less excited about the possibility of going through all this sucky stuff, because we know that the ring comes off. The golden ring of success isn't permanent. So why even bother? So the secret of success, and I just wrote something on in the Sick to Fit group on Facebook. I'll read it here. On this morning's run, I had the following thought. The entire secret to a successful journey to better health and ideal weight is learning to love the now behaviors that you resent as much as you crave the theoretical future outcome. So you want to love what you now resent or hate or fear as much as you crave the theoretical future outcome that you're going to get from doing that thing. So instead of saying, oh, I crave the hot body, I crave to be able to wear those clothes, I crave to be feeling better and off my meds, that's the future thing that I really want, and I got to go through all this horrible stuff. When it becomes successful and sustainable is the moment that you learn to love the things you now hate. So if you can't love, loving what you now hate, loving eating healthy foods, and its corollary, loving resisting cravings and temptations for off-plan foods, loving walking down the cookie aisle in the supermarket and not picking anything up, even though every cell in your being is screaming for some Oreos. All right? So learning to love physical movement that feels uncomfortable, painful, sucky. Again, not going into actual damage, but when you start moving and you're out of breath and your muscles are aching and you're sweating like a pig and you feel uncomfortable and unwieldy and unnatural, to love that feeling and not just where you think it's going to get you. So easier said than done, right? How do I, okay, love what you hate. Go for it. By the way, that's a chapter in the book Change Anything, from which we have taken one of our well-start mantras, turn a bad day into good data. Recommend the book highly. Love what you hate. Suppose you can't. There are intermediate steps to get you there. So one of them is to really concentrate on this goal that you want, and then take all that love and craving for the goal and put it on the person you are now who's going to get you there, who's going to do hard things to get you there. Right? Because willpower isn't going to do it. Willpower may not even exist. Check out the podcast that I'm going to release next Tuesday with Judd Brewer of the Brown Center for Mindfulness. Willpower in the brain, there's no place for willpower. There's nothing in the brain. None of the structures or mechanisms in our neurology, in our brain, can account for this concept of willpower. It's a mirage. It's an illusion. What we actually do when we engage in willpower is we're actually choosing a reward. So this is the key. Choose the reward of saying no to cookies and candies and ice cream. The reward is love the person who can do that. Be impressed with yourself. Wow, hot damn, look at me, all those years giving in. And now I'm developing the muscles to say no to things that aren't good for me. Yeah, it hurts to do that. But the more it hurts, the more impressed I am with myself. And that self-esteem, man, that is a dopamine rush. Look at me doing the thing, chasing better, doing the responsible thing after all these years of not being able to do it or not realizing that I was able to do it. And the harder it is and the more it sucks, the more impressed I am with myself. Oh, love it. If you can't love vigorous movement, and that's vigorous for you, you're not trying to keep up with anyone else, but something that pushes you a little bit, then fall in love with your willingness to do it in spite of the discomfort. Fall in love with your willingness to endure discomfort and reflect that back at yourself and be impressed and see how far you've come and notice where that ripples out in the rest of your life. Are you better able to set boundaries with people because now you've developed your I'm okay with discomfort muscle? Are you able to engage in new experiences to grow yourself because you're stepping through certain fears. Be impressed with yourself. As Josh says, become a fan of yourself. Root for yourself the way you'd root for your favorite sports team. And it doesn't take an equal amount of self-love to overcome all the discomfort and all the aversion. This is where it gets beautiful. All you need. Set life beast mode, Elizabeth says. Yes, this is beast mode. And beast as in, yeah, I am proudly choosing this, even though it's hard, because it's hard. So all you need is like a single molecule of love and appreciation for yourself and for the hard things you're doing. That will undermine mountains of aversion, mountains of, oh, this is too hard. It doesn't have to be an equal amount. It's so subversive. Your appreciation of yourself in the moment destroys all this mathematics of procrastination. Because now you're not procrastinating the future. If we do the thing that gives us pleasure. That's why we got into this problem. That's why we like sitting on the couch and eating junk food, because it's immediately pleasurable. And the problem is the future that we want is in the future. So pain now, pleasure later, recipe for failure. So that's why even that molecule of self-love, self-appreciation, impressed with yourself, self-fandom, means that now you're doing the thing that you want to do now. You're giving yourself that pleasure of self-esteem, that pleasure of impressed with yourself. And you're doing it right now. That's essentially the secret that we teach and we coach on and we make a gym out of at WellStart Health. You don't need WellStart Health. You don't need us to do this. We do provide, just like you don't need a gym to work out and get strong. But for a lot of people, the gym is a place where they can go and get guidance and have support and have structure and have accountability, right? Even just paying for the gym can make people start doing new things. So I want you to think of WellStart that way. If you would like to get there and you're not sure how, or you want more guidance, or you want, like, the way it happened for me is meeting Josh Lajani, and seeing how he embraced discomfort and wanting to emulate that. And that's what's happened for lots and lots of people in WellStart, is they see Josh, they see Sarah, they see Kevin, they see Ron, they see Carolyn, they see our dietitians, they see our coaches. And they're like, oh, that's a life that I want to emulate. That's what did it for me. So if that's helpful, then WellStart will give you these people, these inspirations, in multitudes. So Elizabeth, will these be on YouTube? Yes, I'm actually using a thing. It's expensive. It's $50 a month, but I'm restreaming this to YouTube. So on my Plant Yourself YouTube channel, which has 1,600 subscribers and could use a few 100,000 more, in my opinion. So if you know anything about growing your YouTube channel, hit me up. I would love to learn what you got. So if Elizabeth says WellStart equals game changer, well, thanks. Yeah, and we're working on your testimonial story right now. Getting that out there. But again, this is the secret: to love what you now resent. Flip that future and present so that you're loving the present, and it's going to get you that future that you're currently craving. All right, that's it for me. It's Friday afternoon. Thank you everybody for watching. I'll see you again on Monday. If you want to sign up for Well Start, we start on Sunday evening as our kickoff call. So now would be a really good time to go to wellstarthealth.com/program and check it out. Sign up. We'd love to see you, and we'd love to have you be another, inspirational success story rippling out into the world, so that better health, happiness, more energy to do the things that need doing in this world, and more self-love. That's what we're all benefiting from. That's what we all get from each other, and what we're hoping to ripple out into the universe. So thank you, everybody, for watching. Have a great day, great weekend. See you again soon.